Family is everything, they say, but in the case of the British royal family, it seems more like a tragicomic farce than a heartwarming saga. As King Charles III flounders in his attempts to manage a monarchy teetering on the brink, we're treated to the latest episode of As the Royal World Turns. With Prince Harry off on his own adventure, living his best life in the States, the question arises, has Charles's stubbornness and misguided decisions thrown the monarchy into a tailspin? Spoiler alert, yes, and it's hilarious. Imagine this. King Charles, newly crowned and already embroiled in a sibling rivalry that would make even the most dysfunctional families cringe. Instead of tackling pressing issues like climate change or public service, he decides to wage war on his own brother, Prince Andrew, over a royal residence. Yes, folks, while the world faces genuine crises, Charles's grand strategy includes evicting Andrew from Royal Lodge, as if that's the solution to all their problems. Bravo, Your Majesty, let's break this down. Charles is determined to rid himself of Andrew, the disgraced Duke, and in the process, he thinks he's going to redefine the monarchy's image. But isn't it ironic that instead of looking strong and authoritative, he just looks like a petulant sibling fighting over the last slice of cake? "Move out or I'll cut off your allowance," he shouts, as if we're back in the schoolyard. Spoiler alert. This royal drama is more entertaining than any reality show. In a twist worthy of Shakespeare, Charles's attempts to cut off Andrew's financial lifeline backfire spectacularly. Andrew manages to raise funds and declare he can support himself at Royal Lodge, leaving Charles floundering like a fish out of water. "Oh, you thought you could just evict me?" Andrew seems to say, "Surprise! I'm staying put." It's almost poetic how Charles's efforts to control the narrative have only served to make him look weaker and more out of touch. Now, let's talk about the emotional stakes in this royal ruckus. For Charles, it's about preserving the monarchy's dignity, or so he thinks. For Andrew, it's a battle for survival in a world that has all but forgotten him. Watching these two navigate their sibling rivalry is like watching a comedy of errors unfold. You almost want to grab some popcorn and settle in for the show, because this is pure entertainment at its finest. And here's where the plot thickens. While Charles is busy trying to assert his authority, Prince Harry is off in California, living his truth, advocating for mental health, and building a brand that resonates with the modern world. You know, the one that Charles seems to have forgotten exists. Harry's journey is one of growth and authenticity, while Charles appears stuck in a royal time warp, desperately clinging to outdated traditions. Who's really winning here? Spoiler, it's not the king. Charles attempts to distance himself from Andrew's scandalous past, but in doing so, he steps right into a royal mess of his own making. The audience can't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Charles's insistence on upholding royal decorum while simultaneously failing to manage his family dynamics effectively is a recipe for disaster, and we're all here for it. Now, let's not forget the delightful dialogue that unfolds. Friends of Andrew cheer him on, celebrating his ability to retain his lavish lifestyle despite Charles's attempts to cut him off. Who cares where Andrew lives, they ask, as if the fate of the monarchy hinges on a brotherly spat over property. It's as if they're playing a game of Monopoly but forgot the rules. Just take what you want, who cares about the bank? The conflict escalates, and we find ourselves in a royal showdown that could rival any dramatic climax in a soap opera. Charles's attempts to cut off Andrew's public funding seem to serve only to throw more fuel on the fire. Instead of taking control, he's made a spectacle of himself, with the world watching in amusement as his authority crumbles under the weight of his own stubbornness. Real-life examples of this royal tension abound. Andrew's claims of being able to fund his lifestyle raise eyebrows and fuel speculation about the legitimacy of his finances. Meanwhile, Charles, the wealthiest man in the kingdom, finds himself outmaneuvered by his brother, who's clinging to the remnants of his royal status. The irony is delicious, and the audience can't help but laugh at how the tables have turned. As we analyze the fallout from Charles's decisions, it becomes clear that he's left himself to blame for the monarchy's declining status. Instead of adapting to the modern world, he's chosen to engage in petty family drama that does nothing but distract from the real issues at hand. The public sympathy for Andrew grows, and suddenly Charles looks less like a king and more like a man desperately trying to reclaim control over a spiraling circus. In the backdrop of this chaos, we must confront the uncomfortable truth. Harry was never wrong. His departure from the royal fold, his advocacy for mental health, and his quest for authenticity stand in stark contrast to Charles's misguided attempts to maintain a facade of royal dignity. While Harry has forged a new path filled with purpose, Charles seems stuck in a quagmire of royal obligations and outdated traditions. As we reflect on this royal comedy, the emotional connection forged through these stories is undeniable. They reveal the human experience of struggling for identity and belonging amidst chaos. The monarchy, once a symbol of stability, is now a punchline in a never-ending joke, and the audience can't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. The call to action is clear. The monarchy must embrace authenticity and transparency if it hopes to remain relevant. By acknowledging its flaws and engaging with the realities of modern life, the royal family can begin to forge a new narrative, one that resonates with the people it serves. After all, who doesn't love a good redemption story? The audience is rooting for them. In this chaotic royal drama, we see that every story has the power to inspire change. Harry's journey serves as a beacon of hope, challenging us to consider the paths we take and the legacies we leave behind. Meanwhile, Charles's stubbornness highlights the need for evolution within the monarchy. The audience is left laughing, yet hopeful for a future where the royals can adapt and thrive. As we navigate the complexities of this royal circus, we must recognize the emotional journeys of both Prince Harry and King Charles III. Their contrasting paths illuminate the challenges and opportunities ahead. Can they find common ground amidst the chaos? Or will the monarchy remain forever trapped in a cycle of absurdity? The emotional connection forged through these stories is undeniable. They remind us that we are all human, grappling with our own struggles and desires for connection. The monarchy must confront its humanity, acknowledging its flaws while embracing the opportunity for growth and transformation. Because, let's be honest, who wouldn't want to see a royal family that doesn't take itself too seriously? In conclusion, as we bask in the absurdity of the saga of Prince Andrew and King Charles, we must recognize the broader implications for the monarchy. The internal conflicts and struggles for authority reveal the need for evolution and adaptation. The future of the monarchy depends on its ability to resonate with the values and experiences of the people it serves. The audience is watching, and they're not going anywhere. Ultimately, the royal family stands at a crossroads, and the choices made by Charles and Harry will shape the monarchy's legacy for generations to come. By embracing authenticity, transparency, and a healthy dose of humor, the monarchy can reclaim its relevance and ensure its place in the hearts of the people it serves. The journey ahead may be fraught with challenges, but it is also filled with the promise of renewal, redemption, and perhaps a few more royal meltdowns for our entertainment. So, let's raise a glass to the British royal family, where the drama is real, the stakes are high, and the humor is utterly delicious. Here's hoping that Charles learns from his blunders, embraces the modern world, and maybe, just maybe, agrees that Harry and Meghan were and have always been right. Because if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that a little more authenticity and a lot less drama would do the monarchy some good. Cheers to that.